U.S. Air Force Lieutenant Nate Hinckley. I'd like to welcome you all to the commissioning of Gage Buness as a second lieutenant in the United States Air Force. As we begin, I'd like to announce and welcome military personnel that are present. Colonel Ron Nelson, retired Air Force. Scott Middlemist, Lieutenant, Army. Greg Arthur, Corporal, Marines. Wes Hoosh, Corporal, Marines. And John Buchanan, Specialist, Army. We're honored to have a very special guest, Governor Doug Ducey. Thank you also to Dr. Mark Jacobs, Dean of Barrett, the Honor College at Arizona State University, who is Gage's undergraduate dean, and Adria Renke, President of Brophy College Prep. Just a few words about Gage's commissioning. Gage is being commissioned pursuant to the Health Professions Scholarship Program. This is a 4-year scholarship distributed by the Armed Forces that has become the primary means of entering the Armed Forces as a healthcare provider. Upon graduation, Gage will be promoted to the rank of captain in the Air Force, where he may be offered an option to pursue residency within the military or through a civilian residency program before joining as an Air Force physician. This program is exceptionally competitive and seeks to gain both individuals with strong character and great academic excellence. It's an honor to receive the scholarship. And now, Father Del Toro will give the opening prayer.
Good afternoon, everyone. Let us recall we are in the presence of our loving God. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Eternal Lord of all things, we give you thanks for the opportunity to serve you and to minister to you. We give you today special thanks for Gage, for his willingness to serve our country in the Air Force as a physician. United with you in faith and in citizenship, we entrust Gage to your care. Give him the wisdom, the courage, the compassion, and the grace he needs to serve others, knowing that our mission is to be with you forever and ever. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.
Amen.
Thank you, Father Del Toro. Now I'd like to introduce the first of our 3 speakers, Kendra Krause, Assistant Principal for Faculty Development at Brophy and Director of Loyola Academy.
So just about a year ago, probably almost exactly, Gage made a commitment to Brophy's Alumni Service Corps, dedicating a year of his life to service and formation. Today, he makes a much bigger and longer commitment, but I think there are some definitive parallels. Luckily for us, and specifically for the boys in this room, Gage has spent the last 10 months primarily at the Loyola Academy, focused on a whole lot of things other than himself. For those who might be new to this place, Loyola Academy is a special program within Brophy. The goal is to take boys we think might not otherwise be able to attend Brophy for high school and make sure that they do. We accept boys entering the 6th grade, and we have 3 years to fill any gaps that might exist and push them to be leaders who are ready to be successful at the high school in all areas. Gage made an intentional decision to be a part of these boys' lives, forever impacting their trajectory. Gage's typical day has frequently meant departing our parking lot out here at 6 a.m. to drive boys to school, teaching PE for 3 hours to boys whom I love but are frequently less than appreciative of the effort, teaching a 4th class to high school boys, leading an enrichment activity about survival skills, managing homework time and assisting boys in the process, and then driving boys home again, returning to our parking lot at 6:30 p.m. And frequently, he had some other activity that ran into the evening, coaching lacrosse, prefecting a basketball game, or even spending the night overnight so that seniors could camp out on campus. None of it is glorious, and it is mostly thankless. But it all allows us to do what we do here, which is hopefully form boys into men for others who make our world better. Gage has been the first to jump to complete a task, no matter how mundane. Selfishly, he has made this year so much easier for me. I never had to worry about sub coverage or driving or field trips or anything as long as Gage was a part of the planning. More importantly, he has served as a role model for all the boys at the academy, whether they know it or not. He's hyper bright and infinitely skilled. He could have spent this last year doing a lot of things that probably would have been a lot more fun and certainly paid a lot more. Instead, he dedicated himself to the growth of 70 middle school boys. Similarly, he's about to dedicate his life to the service and protection and health of our country. I'm so very thankful that people like him exist, and even more so that he has graced us with his gifts this past year. Thanks, Coach.
Our next speaker is Greg Arthur, who served in Vietnam and is Gage's godfather.
Afternoon, everyone.
Afternoon.
So I was asked to speak on behalf of Gage. First thing that came to mind was, can you hear me okay? It was, the recommendation that I had written for him. And to me, it flowed off of my pen in a matter of minutes. He was amazed. He said, "You got it to me in no time at all." I said, "Yeah, well, it was easy to do." But, so I thought it might be appropriate I just read it to you, because it really outlines who Gage is to me and to a lot of other people too. So, starts off, my name is Greg Arthur. I'm a combat Marine, Vietnam, 66, 67. I still have connections with the military in a lot of ways, in the firearms industry. And it is my extreme honor and privilege to recommend James Gage Buness for the United States Air Force Health Professional Scholarship Program and subsequent required service in the United States Air Force. I have known Gage Buness since his birth. From a very early age, Gage exhibited the type of character, integrity, work ethic, and moral standards every branch of service looks for in their best leadership candidates. His concentration and dedication to all goals he sets for himself never fail to achieve their desired results. His achievements, whether they be scholastic or on the playing field, reflect this excellence of character and his dedication to purpose. He is a true leader and a strong competitor who never fails to take on the most challenging tasks. His strong spirit has led him to volunteer in many capacities and situations where he finds there is a need, always selflessly. Therefore, it is without hesitation I recommend James Gage Buness for scholarship and enlistment in the United States Air Force, where I'm sure he will uphold the highest standards and traditions of that service to the credit of the United States of America, the United States Air Force, and to himself, his family, and all who know him. And that sums it up for Gage. He's a great man. Well done, Gage.
Our final speaker is Sergio Arvizo, who's an 8th grader at Loyola Academy.
When we first met Gage about a year ago, he was the stone-faced buff guy who made us run laps when we talked and made us run miles every Monday. Over the past few months, we got to know him as a Johnny Cash and country music-loving guy. He would help us on techniques on sports and actually played sports with us. I personally got to know him better when we went to Washington, D.C. while walking around all the Smithsonians. I learned Coach Gage was an aviator know-it-all who knew everything about planes and aviation. We bonded over this, and when we went to the African American History Museum, we walked through history together and read everything there was to read. Over the past few months, Coach Gage became our friend. And now he's the smiley buff guy who makes us run laps when we talk and run miles on Monday. We don't say this enough, but we really love you, Gage, and we know you're going to do amazing wherever you go. Thank you.
veterans in the room, please feel free to stand at attention with us. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your full name.
I, James Gage Buness,
Have been appointed
have been appointed
Second Lieutenant in the United States Air Force.
Second Lieutenant in the United States Air Force.
Do solemnly swear
Do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic.
foreign and domestic,
That I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same.
and allegiance to the same,
That I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion.
or purpose of evasion,
And that I will well and faithfully
that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties of the office
discharge the duties of the office
upon which I am about to